Good morning. There are many practices as to how many candles one lights on Erev Shabbos when lighting Shabbos candles. Strictly speaking, from the wording of the Gemara all the way through the Rishonim and even the Shulchan Aruch, the minimum seems to be that it would be sufficient to only even light one light, as long as there is enough to see, which would fulfill the purposes that we've spoken about for lighting candles in order to be able to see whether it's shalom bayis or kavod or oneg, for whatever the reason may be. The fundamental purpose is to be able to get benefit and to be able to see. And therefore, strictly speaking, if one only lit one light that was enough to provide the light necessary, that would fulfill a mitzvah. However, there are minhagim that have come later that offer more than that. One minhag is to light two candles. There are different explanations where this comes from. Some say that it is corresponding to the two aspects of Shabbos, of Shamor, V'Zachor, of the remembering as well as the guarding. Some say that Eliyahu Rabbah writes that it corresponds to the husband and wife, which would make sense according to the approach that it's a Mishum Shalom Bayis, that it's for the sake of the peace of the home. The Eliyahu Rabbah also suggests an alternative explanation why one may light two, and that is because on Shabbos, we receive a neshama yesira, an additional neshama, an additional soul. And therefore, corresponding to those two souls, which we each have on Shabbos, perhaps that's where the minhag comes from to light two. A fourth explanation for why one may light two candles is given by the kolbo, that on Shabbos, we see everything is doubled. We have Shomer V'Zachar, as we mentioned, we have Lechem Mishnah, and so we see throughout the day this theme of two, and therefore the Kolbo writes, lighting candles is no different. One can light two candles, and that is in fact quoted by the Beis Yosef, and many observe this minhag, particularly when they are lighting not in their own home. If they are away, then instead of lighting the amount they normally would light, they may only resort to lighting two. Other minhagim mentioned, the Mishnah Berurah quotes the minhag of 7 candles corresponding to the days of the week, or even 10 candles corresponding to the 10 commandments. Perhaps the most prevalent minhag is that which is quoted in the footnote in the Shmir, in the Lamites Malachos by Rabbi Ribiat, which quotes from the Likutei Maharich, Rabbi Yisrael Chaim Friedman of Rochov. And the Piskei Teshuvos quotes this approach as well, which is that we light corresponding to the amount of people in our home. So if one has 4 children, so they would light 2 for the parents and 4 for the children, totaling 6. The Piskei Teshuvos explains that perhaps where this comes from is because the Gemara says that one who lights candles merits to have children who are Talmidei Chachamim. And he writes that we also have this idea of Ner Hashem Nishmas Adam, that the candle of God corresponds to the souls, and Ner Mitzvah V'Torah Or, and the flame corresponds to the mitzvahs of the Torah, and therefore they each correspond to one of the neshamos in the home. And so however many people are living in that home would be how many candles are lit. So again, a minimum of 1, maximum, there is no maximum depending on how many children one may have, or 2 or 7 or 10 are all different minhagim brought in the poskim. And one, of course, as long as one is fulfilling the minimum obligation of lighting 1, beyond that, one should follow their family's practice. Have a fantastic Shabbos.